And one of the long-running themes of this show has been the chopping and changing by the Sussexes of priorities, projects and, well, personnel. And just when we thought things may have settled a bit, there's news this week that the Sussexes are parting way with another 6 staff. Now, why they need 6 staff in the first place is a mystery to me, but to remove 6 all at once, well, that doesn't really bode well. Joining me now is writer and broadcaster Esther Krakue. Esther, the Sussexes and their staff have been a long-running issue. What's the latest reason for the turnover, and is it just more of what we've seen before?
I think this is more of a strategic, act by the Sussexes, because if you look closely, all of the staff that they've basically either asked to leave or terminated are communication staff. So staff that have to do with their comms and their PR. They got rid of, the communications person for Archewell, as well as, Meghan's social media manager. They have retained a small team at a PR firm, which we understand they feel more comfortable with. Now, the timing of this is also quite interesting because they got rid of them mainly around the time right after the Vanity Fair article came out, which insinuated that some people had to be in long-term therapy after working with Meghan, and that the prince was lonely in Montecito and had yet to make friends. So there's kind of indications that it was actually leaked from inside of their communications staff, which I'm sure Meghan and Harry wouldn't be very happy about. But look, one thing they have struggled with since leaving the royal family is communication, is their PR with the public. For some reason, they just haven't happened to maintain or even generate a more positive view of themselves, like Queen Camilla did after King Charles, back then the Prince of Wales, really went, activated an aggressive PR campaign to try and ameliorate her image in the public sphere. The Sussexes haven't managed to do that, which is why you've seen kind of a haphazard strategy. Unfortunately, Prince Harry didn't really inherit any of the kind of royal family PR experts that really massaged his image with the public and made him the lovable prince that he was remembered for so many years. So they've kind of had to go in this blind. Meghan as well hasn't ever been used to this kind of media attention. So trying to curate her image has been quite a struggle. But, the Sussexes are still, going ahead. They released that video of both of them twerking with, I believe, a pillow inside of Meghan's dress, before she was giving birth to Lily. That's apparently the timing of it. Again, many people thought this was a way for them to seem more relatable. I think one of the things they've always struggled with is because when they left the royal family, they mentioned that they wanted to keep their privacy. So this has kind of been like an ongoing trope. So every time they're in the public eye, people are just thinking, didn't you say you want your privacy? And they've really found it hard to counteract that, because once you come across as people that just want to live your lives and have privacy, but then you're also obsessed with your public image and doing everything to kind of smooth over your PR with the rest of the public, it sends conflicting and almost attention-seeking messages. So this has definitely been a minefield that they've struggled to navigate.
Yeah, absolutely, it has been. And if that's not all, there's a new documentary investigating the Sussexes titled Where Did the Money Go? Here's a clip.
The Duke and Duchess of Sussex were once the darlings of the nation.
They were this fabulous new couple that were really making the royal family completely valuable to the UK and beyond.
The Duke and Duchess of Sussex!
Enjoying a gilded life of royal luxury.
What's this all about, Esther? Anything surprising?
Well, it was a Channel 5 investigation as to the state of the Sussexes' finances. Now, we know they didn't move to a 2-bedroom cottage somewhere in the middle of nowhere. They're living in quite a large mansion in Montecito. And one of the things that Prince Harry made very public when he left the royal family, one of the things that he was quite disgruntled about was the fact that his father basically cut him off financially. So really, they were in a state where they had to make a lot of money and a lot of money fast. He blundered in a video and said, the Netflix deal was an idea that was pitched to him, and he had to basically pay for his family's security, which I'm sure if you're giving the Sussexes $100 million deal, you're not happy to hear that the people already took it just so they could pay for lifelong security. But they were in a state where they had to make money, and they had to make money fast. It also explored the state of their finances before they left the royal family. So Meghan Markle's estimated net worth from her work from Suits and her lifestyle brand was about £5 million. And we know that Prince Harry was left inheritance by his late mother, Princess Diana, as well as the Queen Mother, which estimates around sort of between 20 and 30 million pounds. But we know that they have quite an expensive mortgage on their house. Their security is quite a hefty sum as well annually. We know that Prince Harry doesn't really go to many places without a 4-car convoy, which again is a lot of money. So it's just kind of exploring what's next, how dire their finances is. I'm sure they have a lot of smart investments that is probably paying for a lot of their daily upkeep. And I don't think that financially they're going to be in much trouble. And also they've happened to manage to surround themselves with a lot of famous wealthy friends. So ideas will always be swimming around about how they can make a quick buck if they're ever in dire straits.
Yeah, I don't think we'll be hearing the end of that anytime soon. Now, this week we know the King is knighting David Beckham and London Mayor Sadiq Khan. Same honour, two very different people. Esther, your thoughts?
Yes, it's very, very different people indeed. I mean, David Beckham for a long time almost became a bit of a meme because he and his wife had always done a lot of work with the royal family, and yet he never attained this honor. And many people joke that he was probably never going to get it because the royal family didn't want to look like they were handing out favors to their friends. But after years, really decades of service, he's finally got that honor that I'm sure he's very happy to get. And then on the other side you have Sadiq Khan, which many people are kind of find this appointment controversial. I mean, I'm someone who doesn't believe that politicians that are still in office should receive those kind of honors. I think it's inappropriate. But there's also people that would say that he's being, honored for failure. Yes, he has been elected 3 times as London mayor, so in his own right he's a successful politician in terms of getting re-elected. But since he came into power, knife crime in the capital is up by 50%. Many people feel like he's lost control of the streets, despite the fact that many people paying council tax in London their council tax has gone up by about 71% since he became mayor. So there's this kind of feeling that he's being rewarded for failure, and this is not something that is holding the honor system in high esteem, even though arguably it does have its flaws. So two very different people that are making more headlines, not really for the fact that they've been honored, but for why they've been honored, which is raising a few eyebrows.
Now, I've only got about a minute left, but Meghan's as ever brand, it appears to keep switching focus and adding bits and pieces here and there. And it's reported this week that she'll be adding hotels and restaurants and hospitality to her brand. What's the plan here?
That's a very good question. It doesn't seem like there is a plan. So she's kind of talking as if her brand has been in existence and trading for a very long time. She talks about, not stocking up on fans' favorites until the early part of next year, potentially. But the question is, she's only released one line of products. I don't really know how she can call anything fans' favorites. She hasn't had a consistent track record of releasing things. And now, we're hearing that they're going to go into merchandise and lifestyle stuff and hotels, potentially clothing brands as well. I'm hearing from insiders. We don't really know what the trajectory of this project is. Now, we know there's not really that much pressure for her to make as ever an immediate success, particularly following all the turmoil of the previous name, which she called a word salad, which I have to agree with. But it's all looking a bit haphazard, and she's kind of just playing it as it goes and just feeling it along, which I'm sure is a strategy that she believes works for her and is comfortable around her lifestyle. So we'll just have to wait and see. But at the moment, it doesn't seem like there's much of a plan.
We will just wait and see. Esther Krakue, thank you for joining me on the show.